Okay, we're out of time.
Oh, wow, that went quick again.
Not over here.
Oh, well, time flies when you're
Not over here.
fun.
It was very slow over here. I've been waiting for that clock to move.
I haven't looked at it once.
You never look at the clock anyway.
Life's not meant to be looked at the clock, Dino. Stop searching for answers.
It is when you're trying to beat a record.
Just be happy.
When you're trying to beat a record, it's very important. Just gonna say that. It's
Well, why are you trying to beat a record? Let that person have their moment. Fuck.
because
Everybody's trying to beat it, one up
I
everybody.
want to jerk off with a purpose. How
Like,
fast can I get it to go?
Oh, don't have a purpose. Just give her shit. Until you cry.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm kidding.
So, well, morning motivational rant, guys. Morning motivational rant. Like, share, and subscribe. Oh, what to talk about today? None of your fucking business. I think that's a great way to start this. There's a I think this is good. This is a good thing.
Okay.
Everyone, like, there's I think it's a Japanese saying or poem. It says how everyone has three faces. You know, you have the face for everyone. It's just generic. You have a face for your friends. Then you have your true face, which is only for you. I'll be honest with you. I opened up a little bit with my ex-wife, and we got divorced. With Victoria, I'm like, you know what? I've been able to share a lot of my really private thinkings with her, and because I went through a lot of hardship while I was with Victoria. Not because of Victoria, just like my dad passed, and a lot of things happened. But at the same time, there's still things that I don't talk about, and this is the thing: is the idea of having to say everything. Like, I don't usually talk about the fact that I was Jehovah's Witness, just because a lot of the times people are like, "What?" Like they're baffled by it, and I don't like to set that as a tone. Like I'm not one to give out information. I'm one to more take information from. Like I'm an observer.
It's terrible.
It's not, but this is the thing though. Is that's the process.
Set a tone because you're so worried.
No, it's not even that.
Sad.
It's not that I'm worried. I don't like to share about myself. I rather like to observe. I like to watch. I know how that sounded really perverse, but it's following me. I like the human experience. I like the human interaction, but I'm not necessarily good at it. And that's why it's like, I remember my nephew introduced me to a comic who now lives in New York. And we got along fantastic, just swimmingly. It was great because he actually went to high school with that comic. He's very funny too. I really enjoy his comedy. But ultimately, one of the big things was like, afterward, he's like, let me introduce you to some of the other guys. So he introduced me, and I had a hard time talking with them because they were all just talking about their old times and, oh, do you remember this guy? And I'm like, I just went back to my phone and I'm like, this is fucking bullshit, right? Because I need a wingman who will never stop talking about himself. And I've been lucky to find those kind of people in like other friends in Crystal who will she won't even stop when you tell her to shut up. It's great. It's very useful. But
I like the sound of my own voice.
I don't think it's very bad. Your cackle is horrible, but the voice is great.
I just like to talk about me.
No, but you know what? That's the thing, is that serves a purpose. But what I'm trying to say is this: is that sometimes it's completely reasonable to be like, you know what? That's none of your fucking business, and be like, oh, okay. Like there's no more interaction that's required. If somebody's like, hey, I heard you had a giant penis, you're like, that's none of your business. I'm a married man. Leave me alone. Right? It's like little things like that. But this is the thing: is setting those boundaries. They are fluid. They are fluid with who we deal with and everything like that. But that's the thing: is we don't have to go around. Fuck, a lot of this sounds sexual. We don't have to go around exposing ourselves to every Tom, Dick, and Harry just so we can feel some sort of validation, you know? And that's what I wanted to say was, you know, sometimes things are just none of...
There's just certain things that you gotta keep, like, it's your stuff, you work it out.
There's a lot of things like that.
You have interviewed.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like, look, we've
I say a lot of inappropriate stuff that I should probably keep to myself and work out. But that's my problem, is that I've kept it to myself and try to work it out and didn't work out very well.
And you know what?
Now I try to share for help.
No, but that's the thing is, there's two sides to that. Is like, listen, being able to trust somebody. Like, look, we've both said stuff that's way too private, right? But the thing is, being able to trust somebody, that takes a lot of fucking time, and there is no fucking rush. And I try and tell people every day.
And not to make you feel uncomfortable about it.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, can you believe that? You know how many times people have said stuff, and I'm like, how about you go fuck yourself? And they're like, oh, I didn't mean anything. And be like, no, come here. I'm going to tell you off because you're a piece of shit. It's like, who the fuck are you to ask about this, that, and the other? And that's why it's like, having a private moment or a experience that you want to treasure for just yourself is totally okay. And not having to expose yourself to everyone who asks is totally okay. And I think that idea, like, this was one of the big things that happened with my ex-wife was she would have a problem with me, unbeknownst to me, and go and talk with other women about it. And I'm like, what the fuck, bitch? And that really, I'll be honest with you, I believe that was one of the biggest factors that led to our marriage breaking was keep it private. Like, listen, your relationship is nobody else's business. And that's why it's you have to be very careful, because a lot of the people who are willing to listen don't have your best interest in mind, and the people who don't want to listen do have your best interest in mind. And that's why it's like one of those things where, guys, there's no rush. Just be you. And you know what? Sometimes it's none of anybody's fucking business, and that's completely okay. And I think that's like the amount that we're exposed online, we're way over time. Sorry about that. But
that's okay. I don't notice time.
We had very different childhoods. There was But it
made us equally wonderful.
Absolutely. But this is the point, guys, is that, you know what? You should want to have barriers for your own self-preservation, but that doesn't mean that that barrier doesn't have a small little window that you can look out of. That's okay. Like, you know, there's a way to deal with things that's for your best interest, because the fact is that the majority of people just don't. I've had this conversation with Victoria before. We help with her parents. We live in the same house. And the whole reason for that was because they're getting older, they need help, they have their own issues. Fair. But at the same time, Victoria will be like, oh, I have to rush. And I'm like, yeah, I'm asleep. You're trying to rush for your parents. Your husband, who should be your focus, is trying to get some rest because I had a shit night and you saw that. And now you're not going to let me sleep in when I finally got into sleep. And she was like, yeah, that's pretty true. I'm going, listen, it's a small thing, but listen, I'm your priority. Spouses should be priorities. That doesn't mean her parents aren't a priority, but they come second to me. And I worry about my mom all the time, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that she's my focus. And those little things.
Your spouse you're supposed to be your forever.
Exactly.
And no matter what, they're the number one.
And don't get me.
So you drop everything for them. Like,
look, and that's not easy. It's not easy. That's not what I'm saying.
No, but it's
really important.
It's just the way it is. Yeah. So that's the promise you make.
Yeah. It's very.
You know, that's the promise you make. You don't make that promise with anybody else in your life. You don't make that legal. Like, you don't make that with anybody.
No.
Just your partner. You know.
Yeah. No, it's totally reasonable. Anyways, I think that's all I got to say about. Crystal, where can everyone find you?
Simply me on YouTube, Crystal Morenzi on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And Lordino. Freak.
Dear the Genetic Marvel, guys, I'm on YouTube, Instagram, on the Facebook. I'm even on the Twitter. I don't really tweet, though. It just seems redundant. I don't know. I'm sharing the same things everywhere, and I'm not really down with it. But anyways, Morning Motivational Rant. That's what's more important. Like, share, and subscribe.
I don't do the Insta.
I know.
I do the tweet for us, but I don't do the Insta.
And I tag the shit out of her in pictures. She never looks at them, but they're all great. So, Morning Motivational Rant. I don't know what you're doing now.
Go! I always do this.
YouTube, we have our main clips, the full episodes as well. We have announcements on Instagram. We have our Facebook page that has clips as well. And then for the audio listeners, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Overcast Podcasts, Radio Public, and Spotify, guys.
Hello.
They're amazing. Everything's been fantastic in that note. But guys, like, share, and subscribe. And in the meantime, stay motivated. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye!
Bye, guys.